Hello and welcome back to the Horse Racing Network with me, Izzy Phillips, and I'm joined as always by racing broadcaster and journalist Paul Auster, and we're going to be taking a look ahead to day 3 of Royal Ascot. Really, I think, Paul, day 3 is the jewel in the crown, and it's the day that plays host to the Gold Cup. I know, always a preview I'm really excited to do. One of my favourite races in the whole racing calendar. I think probably somewhere near the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Why is it, if they've got Gold Cup in the name, it's such a good race. But this is by far one of my favourite races. What about you?
Well, it's special, isn't it? It's just a special race because it's over such a long trip with such high quality horses. And there's always a huge crowd for every day at Royal Ascot, but because it's Ladies' Day as well, it gives it that extra
Yeah.
edge with so many people, coming specially for this particular day. And this year's renewal looks a good renewal, and it's a race that over the years has produced so many superstar winners.
Absolutely. And obviously we've had superstar winners in the form of Kyprios, who we sadly won't be seeing this year. So the race has kind of opened up a little bit, actually. Probably one of the only benefits to not seeing Kyprios is that he can't just dominate the field as he normally would. But it does mean we've got another Aidan O'Brien horse near the top of the market in Illinois. We've got Candellari in the race as well. Trawlerman, who was a winner the other day, quite well fancied near the top of the market. Sweet William for John and Teddy Gosden. You've also got Coronation Cup winner Jan Bruegel. Can I just do a shout out to our Derby and Coronation Cup preview where we had Jan Bruegel, so potentially going again here. You've then got Savannah's Night. Now, you also have in here Willie Mullins, who obviously always turns up and tries to mess with the flat boys, as he says, and he's got Absurd in here as well. He's also currently got an entry for a horse called Sober. But yeah, generally 25-1 bigger than the rest from Absurd onwards. Who do you like the look of?
Well, it is, first of all, a quick word about Kyprios because he was such a star, wasn't he?
Yeah.
To win twice, but to come back after an incredible, serious illness.
Yeah.
And they've done the right thing in retiring him because obviously he was just struggling after his last win. But all credit to him. And Aidan, over the years, has produced so many, great horses to win this, probably none greater than Yates, who was
a
real superstar to win 4 in a row. And he said straight away, as soon as it was reported that Kyprios had been retired, that Illinois is now his Gold Cup horse. So he made, even though the horse has never gone further than the St. Leger distance, over which he just beat Jan Bruegel last September. So he's got 3/4 of a mile further to go, but Aidan's obviously very confident he'll stay, and he's already won this season at Chester. So I'm sure there's a very good case to be made for him winning. But although Trawlerman is a horse I like very much, he's not getting any younger. He's 7 years old now, and he won very nicely on his reappearance in the Henry II Stakes at Sandown. And the French horse, 2 French horses actually, Candellari, who's probably France's number 1, and Savannah's Night, their number 2. You've got to respect them. I can't imagine Jan Bruegel will show up after having that battle in the Coronation Cup the other day. I don't think he will.
No.
So that brings me to my selection, which is Sweet William. I just think he's the each-way value. He was 3rd in the race last year to Kyprios. He went on and won the Doncaster Cup over 2.25 miles, where he beat Truchan. Of course, that's really probably not good enough to win this, but he then got closer to Kyprios in the Champions Day, beat just 2 lengths there. And he was only beaten a length on his return over an inadequate mile and 3/4 at York, first time out, where he wasn't given too hard a time, I didn't think. So obviously we know that John Gosden, now training with his son Thady, knows exactly how to win it because he won 3 on the bounce with Stradivarius. And I think Sweet William has got a rock solid each way chance. He's about 6-1 at the time we're recording this preview.
Wow. I really like that selection. I think it's such a wide open race, isn't it? Because obviously you have got it that it's over such a distance that a lot of these horses haven't actually run over before. And even including the likes of Mullins' horse, Absurd, and that's where I like to try and stick with jump trainers in these longer distance races at Ascot. I always do, and Mullins actually, funnily enough, seems to always also have the winner in the last at Ascot as frequently as he does all the bumpers on the National Hunt as well. But I do like Absurd. He has actually obviously run over the distance before. He's dropped back in trip a little bit more recently, running over more like 1 mile 5, 2 mile, obviously going back up to 2 mile 4. I don't think it should be a concern. Obviously, I'd like to just see what the ground does end up like. It's just considering whether he might want, just a little bit more cut. I think if it perhaps firmed up too much, it could be a concern. But then again, he has won on Good to Firm, beating your Sweet William actually once before. So I probably going to stick with Willie Mullins. And if you were wondering what was happening what's happening with Willie Mullins whilst the flat season's sort of ploughing ahead, and he's currently still operating at a 43% strike rate. So he hasn't calmed down with the National Hunt season. He's obviously still got a few summer jumpers going and a few flat horses, and certainly still having winners. So hasn't got Poneros in this, obviously, but I think he could have a decent shout with a horse like Absurd over this distance.
Well, I think he's going to be interesting at this distance because he's run 2.5 miles, but he ran it over hurdles, I think, is where they go, a steadier pace. And he's up against, Group 1 horses here. So it'll be very interesting because he is a horse with a lot of class, as we know. I think he might find a few too good, but Willie's a genius. The guy, you can't rule him out of anything.
It's just how strong some of these might finish. Against a proven stayer like a horse like Kyprios, you'd have said absolutely no chance, like they're just going to tear off. Obviously, these are going to be a little bit speedier. They're going to have to learn how to negotiate the race because obviously it's over further than they're normally running over. And I just think that is what could catch him out. And a horse like Absurd does come from the back. He does come from off the pace. He does stay. If they sort of run out of steam and they're not a horse like Kyprios, that's where I'm just thinking, if he's close enough, can he just do it?
Well, I think, as you say, we don't have a superstar stayer in the field this year because Illinois hasn't proved himself at the trip. We don't know if he stays. We know the French horse, Candelari, will stay.
Yeah.
He's a horse that will probably keep running all day if you want to. But I'm happy with Sweet William. I think he will stay, and I think he'll probably hit the frame. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was 1 or 2 too good, or if things go right for him, you never know. It might be his day. We'll wait to see whether or not Illinois can pick up the mantle that Kyprios left behind. It might be that he turns out to be a better stayer than he was a middle distance horse.
Wow. Well, it's such huge shoes to fill with Kyprios, though, isn't it? Absolutely huge shoes to fill. So nice to see if the Aidan O'Brien charge can make it happen again. But there's certainly a few in here that are going to be thinking that, this is more open now and this is their chance. So I do think if there's one thing, like I say, that is a benefit of Kyprios not running is that it does open this race up, especially as a betting heat. I think hopefully get some much better prices about the Gold Cup now, which could make it very interesting. Certainly a little bit more competitive on the basis that we haven't got a superstar horse in there. But certainly we will miss that moment of magic as Kyprios kicks on, as he usually does. And I'm just clinging on to the fact that I wish Vauban had won it that one time. So now I've got to try and find another Willie Mullins horse to come through and pick up the spoils. But very, very exciting Ascot Gold Cup that will be run on the 3rd day. Do join us again while we preview day 4.